Hi, it's Heather from Center for Teaching and Learning, and I wanted to take you on a quick walkthrough through the Course Builder tool in Brightspace. So you can see right now that I am in my sandbox, and actually, even though the Course Builder tool is a great tool for building from scratch, it's also a great tool for cleanup of your course migration. You can see that I've actually practiced migrating a course over from Blackboard. You can tell because I have a start here, a resources panel, and also weekly content from my course that I migrated from Blackboard. So how we get to the Course Builder tool is by going to the Course Admin button on the navbar. From here I can scroll down to the Site Resources, and there's an option called Course Builder. Now I can see here this is kind of an outline version of what I just saw in my visual module table of contents here. I have my Start Here button, my resources, and my weekly content. And when I open each one of these modules, I can actually see the content that is included inside of it. So we've been talking about how the Start Here menu is going to become obsolete because the overview page in Brightspace allows me to post my syllabus in a downloadable and viewable fashion, as well as to post in the overview content area any contact information or important course navigation information. So this makes it really easy for me to completely remove that entire module quickly and easily. The same with my educational resources. I know some of the stuff like my library resource is going to be now in the nav bar under Learner Support. And so I can really quickly go through and clean up from here, which is a little bit easier even than cleaning up in the content area itself. I can also see that my weekly content here has been pulled over. I had the weekly content tab on the left-hand navigation menu of my Blackboard. You can see here that my weekly folders all pulled over. I can do a couple things with these content folders. I can choose to either rearrange them and pull them out of that weekly content menu simply by dragging and dropping to organize. The other thing I can do if I want to start from scratch is I can start building additional modules to add to the structure here. And you can see here that we have a few options. We have a build outline with these white icons, and when I move those into place, I can really easily add new modules anywhere I need them. And you can actually see that this module A I put into my weekly, so it's going to be all the way at the bottom. I can drag it wherever I want to be, or I can even move it around. I'm going to move it right to the top. And I can also now in this module A go ahead and add a few pieces of content. So I know in my intro module, this first module, I'm going to have a file which is going to be my intro to the module. I'm going to have a web link to an important resource. And I'm also going to have a discussion activity. And now you can see that these activities are all in my Module A. But there's a couple things that I want you to know, and I think this is really important. This is a great way to practice backwards design, to really visualize the structure and your learner journey throughout your course. But when you see this outline right here that's dotted, that means that that's really a placeholder for you to build. So you're not going to see that when you go to your content button here. What will create those actual pages and those actual spaces for you to go and build out in your content area is if you go ahead and add the content itself. And you can tell these are the ones that are colored. So just for instance, my link to my important resource. I'm just going to drag that right in there. I'm going to go ahead and make it an external URL, and then I'll have a URL handy. This one is going to actually be a YouTube video. And now you can see this is outlined in orange because it actually has content in it. And so the next thing that I can do is I can pull over a file, and anytime you see HTML file, even though HTML sounds scary and like you have to have coding skills, remember that that's really just a space where we're going to be writing content. The reason that Brightspace is so awesome on all kinds of different devices, and it can shrink down to a mobile device or, you know, blow up as large as your screen is because it's an HTML file. So I can add content straight here, or I can just keep that placeholder, which I'm going to keep that placeholder and go in and do that later. And now you can see that is also orange and solid, so I know that that content is there. Same thing with my discussion activity. So when you're ready and you're happy with building out those content space holders, then you can go in and start really creating your content. Oops. I'm actually not going to create that discussion right now, but if I were to go into my content now, just to double check what everything looks like, that module A, remember, was in my weekly content module, and here is module A right here. So what I can do is I can go in and I can choose to view the topic to see what it looks like in real life. I can edit the HTML. I can change the file type out. So there are a couple of things that we can do that we'll go over a little bit later when we start looking at building content. I might, with this YouTube video, I might decide that I want to take that out and actually have it viewable, in which case I'd embed it right into an HTML file, and that's perfectly okay too. So don't forget, after you build it, again, in the course admin and course builder, then it's always a good idea to go over to the content area to see what it looks like and see what the layout is. Again, Course Builder, an excellent tool to either clean up content that you migrated over or to build from scratch. Give CTEL a call if you have any questions. Happy building!